What's good, everybody, and welcome to a very special episode of What's Good Games at Home for PAX Online. We're doing things differently this year, but we're very excited to be here. I'm Andrea Rene, joined by Miss Kristine Steimer.
Hello.
Miss Brittney Brombacher.
Hello.
Miss Riana Manuel.
Hey.
And special guest Joey Noelle from Kinda Funny is here.
Hello.
Yay.
So glad that you could join us, Joey, in our special What's Good Games at Home edition for PAX Online.
I know, it's so fun. I don't get to hang out with you guys enough.
I know. And you haven't been to PAX IRL in a long time either.
It's been a while. It's been a couple of years, maybe 2018.
Oh. Wow.
Well,
I know. So many
too long.
years.
Once PAX IRL is a thing again, we'll petition for you to come and join us. But because it's online, you are able to join us just like millions of people around the globe are able to watch PAX Online at home this year. So we're going to do things a little differently. If you guys have been to one of our PAX panels before, you know that we love kind of talking about games that we got to play at PAX, but because we are pre-recording, we don't have any demos to talk about. So instead, we're just going to talk a little bit about some games we're excited to play later this year. We're going to reflect a little bit on PAX memories, but the bulk of the panel is going to be taking your submitted questions because we love Q&A at PAX and we miss that we're not going to be able to do that in person. So thank you to everybody who sent in their videos, but we'll get to that in just a few minutes. Let's go ahead and start things off with looking at what's happening later this year for games, because we have an incredible year. We have two new consoles debuting, the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5. Do we have any? We don't really have anyone who's like definitively in one camp or the other in this group, do we?
I'm getting both, so
Yeah.
no.
We can't be in one camp or the other in this industry. Gotta be both.
That's true.
Gotta be open. Yeah.
I mean, Joey's in the Nintendo Switch camp. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I feel like in my order of preference, I'll probably get a PS5 first because I want to play Bug Snacks. But I know that the Xbox Series
I like
X
that you
isn't too far behind.
Yeah, I like that you went for Bug Snacks as the exclusive that is selling you on the PlayStation 5 and not Spider-Man.
So spoilers, so open world games are like really overwhelming to me because there's too many things to do. So I never actually played Spider-Man.
I feel like in terms of open world though, it's one of the more manageable ones.
That's true. It is.
True. Maybe now that I have like kind of a lull of like there's not a whole lot that I'm playing right now, maybe I'll give it another shot.
I really encourage you to. I think you'll like it more than you think you would. And as Steimer said, it's very manageable. I know a lot of people when it first came out said it was their first platinum because it was a very manageable platinum where some games take hundreds of hours to get the platinum. Spider-Man was not that game. So food for thought. Well, new consoles aside, I think we're all excited for new tech, faster loading times, all of that jazz. We have some really fun games coming out this fall. It feels like November just suddenly got stacked because of all the delays. But we've got Destiny 2 Beyond Light, which I know Rene and I are excited for. Obviously, Cyberpunk 2077 is up there. We have Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, which we know about. We also have Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and there's another big one. Watch Dogs Legion.
Yeah, so I have a little list here because of course I do. Okay. Yeah, so Watch Dogs Legion, October 29th, AC Valhalla, November 17th, Cyberpunk, November 19th. And then we have this little placeholder where we're like, are these games coming out this year or are they not? So for example, Elden Ring, Gods and Monsters, Dying Light 2, Far Cry. Well, we know Far Cry 6 is coming out next year. But yeah, I mean, I think the one I'm most looking forward to immediately is Wasteland 3. Is anyone else looking forward to that one?
I did not know that you were excited about Wasteland.
I am, because I am excited about it, admittedly, because of Divinity Original Sin and Divinity Original Sin 2. I see a lot of comparisons between the two IP, and this one does support co-op, online co-op. So for that reason, I'm thinking like, okay, well, clearly I'm not getting my Larian fix for quite some time with Baldur's Gate 3, probably not coming out until at least 2022 is my guess. So Wasteland 3 looks like it might fit that little thing that I'm looking for.
Nice.
And you'll get the 20-hour beta of Baldur's Gate.
In September. You're right, Summer. That's a good point. I'm 100% getting on that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's September 30th.
And I'm definitely excited. I know it's not technically like considered fall, but Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning, I'm very pumped for.
a few weeks away.
It's yes. By the time the PAX panel airs, it's only a couple of days away. Isn't it September 20th?
No, it's the 8th, girl.
By the time this panel airs, I'll already be super far into the re-reckoning.
Let me make sure I'm not wrong with that. But yeah, that's so exciting. Oh.
Plus one to that one.
Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, I think one of the things when you look at big fall lineups, Assassin's Creed is always a big one for me. Obviously, it's not every year anymore, which I think is really good. But Assassin's Creed Valhalla is an interesting wrinkle for me because there's something about the game that doesn't have me as intrigued as I wanted it to. I really liked the reveal, and then once I got to play hands-on with it, I was like, oh, this maybe isn't as, mythologically based as I wanted it to be. And clearly Assassin's Creed does a lot of things historically, and they want to maintain the accuracy of that, and that's something that's been consistent throughout the franchise. But I really liked the way they leaned into some of the mythology in Odyssey that we saw, and I was really hoping they'd go a little bit further down that Norse mythology in Valhalla, but they didn't. But the game the surprise Ubisoft game that I think I'm even more excited for is Watch Dogs Legion. This game is bonkers. Like the amount of things you can do in the game, from having all of these different NPCs you can recruit, and this open world of London, and all of the different gadgets and the different play styles. I think it's probably going to be the first Watch Dog that I'm going to really sink a lot of hours into.
See, I'm not sure. I'm curious about Watch Dogs Legion purely because of that NPC element that you mentioned, the fact that you can play as anyone and recruit anyone. I have to admit, I'm going into it with very low expectations because I feel like if these characters aren't going to be that alluring, because you don't really, it's not like it's a very narrative-driven story with these very specific characters that have been built to support the narrative. At least that's not the vibe I'm getting. And I'm wondering if it's going to keep me hooked. Because if there's one thing, ladies, that I don't like more than trees, it's big old city landscapes. Unless it's Kamurocho and Yakuza, then it's like exempt from that rule.
I feel like you don't have actual rules. There's just specific games you like and specific games you don't like.
I am just living in my own little world over here, and it's a good place.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
I'm with you, Britt, in that like I do worry a little bit about it not having enough individual personality or like quest lines with these people that really make me feel attached or interested in them. Obviously, that's something that we will see as the game comes out. But for that reason, the thing I'm most excited for this fall is Cyberpunk, just because that studio really is good at that. That's what they're known for. And I just want to like dive in. I just want to be like, what's going on in this world? Let me get some robot arms. Let's get some weird hair going on and let's rock and roll. Like, I'm just looking forward to sitting down with that one, and then also Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Yeah.
Because I really, really loved the Spider-Man Insomniac came out with. So I want more, please.
Do we have a date for that?
I don't think
it's
so.
a specific
It's
date.
just holiday.
It's just fall.
Holiday
Okay.
2020. Mm-hmm. If it doesn't get bumped, which
Fingers
like
crossed.
everything's getting bumped these days. But
Yeah, I mean, speaking of getting bumped, like Halo would have been my choice. However,
I know, Infinite.
yeah, it
Yeah.
sucks. I mean, no, it doesn't suck. Take your time, make the game that you want to make it the way you want to make it. Obviously, that is the most important thing. We can wait. But it's tough for me. I don't think I have a most anticipated game. I tried to answer this question earlier this month, and I struggled. Like the only game that I'm really excited for is one I'm working on, which I'm very biased of. But other than that, like, I guess Assassin's Creed, but I already had Ghost of Tsushima, which may be my game of the year. So I don't really know if there's anything that's really got me super, super hyped for the fall. Like, more than anything, I'm just ready for 2021 because fuck this year. I mean,
Beyond Light, though? Beyond Light?
I mean, Beyond Light, sure, but I don't know if I really think of it as a game, or more of just like more fun with my friends that I've already been having.
That's fair.
So,
That is Destiny for us, for sure.
true. It's the game that keeps on giving.
Isn't it, though? Oh, it's
Speaking
great.
of games that are getting bumps, I have a sneaking suspicion we're not getting Dying Light 2 this year, and it makes me very
Oh
sad.
yeah, I don't think so.
I mean,
haven't
like,
heard from
obviously,
them.
but Techland has just been so quiet, and I want to know what's going on. And a few months ago, there was that rumor that Techland did squash But, where there's smoke, there's fire, about how the studio was in a mess and how this game itself was a mess and nothing was really in order and there wasn't even a great vertical slice. I hope those aren't true rumors, but I want to know where that game's at, man. I miss it. Maybe Gamescom, which is very...
At this point, I am assuming if I haven't heard a date, it's delayed. Like, this is kind of where I'm at.
Even if you have heard a date, sometimes
probably
it's delayed.
Probably delayed. Yeah, no, COVID has made everything go on hard mode, including video game development, which was already difficult to begin with. So shout out to all the developers who are still working and still doing stuff from home. It was really interesting and exciting watching the presentation I did about everything going on behind the scenes with Call of Duty, Black Ops Cold War, and how they're doing their whole process with working with voice actors and animators and all from home. And it's really a testament to the work that teams are doing trying to make it happen so that gamers can still enjoy the games that they love. And so props to you, video game developers. You're doing it. You're making it happen. All right. Well, we could keep talking about our most anticipated, but I do want to spend a few minutes chatting about some PAX memories since we all can't be at PAX this year before we get into your questions. And one of the things that I have loved about working with What's Good Games and going to PAX with What's Good has been our D&D sessions. I was never a Dungeons & Dragons player before Craig reached out to us on email 3 years ago, I think it was, before PAX East, and said, hey, I would like to DM a campaign for you. Would you be interested? And we talked about it. We're like, that sounds fun. I was a little nervous because at that time, I think Steimer was the one who...
I was the one pushing that forward.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Because you're like the resident D&D expert of our group. And
expert is not the term I would use.
I mean, but like of our group.
Of our group,
most
sure.
certainly an expert.
Okay.
And getting to be part of that campaign, and shout out to Dr. B for joining us. And thank you so much to Tyler and Craig for organizing that
Dr.
original.
B killed my character.
You wanted
Yes,
to die,
at PAX West. Yeah.
Who's trying to
Oh, wait, no, this
PAX,
year.
that was
PAX
PAX
East earlier this year.
No, but Steimer wanted to die, in fairness.
It was fine. That character.
You wanted a new character.
I wanted. Well, I mean, once it was clear that I could die, I was like, well, it will be fine.
Yeah.
That's not a big deal.
But yeah, that's one of my favorite PAX memories, and we're going to try to find a way to do a virtual campaign before the year is up. I've made it my mission so we can, continue the story. But thank you to Craig for making that possible and for showing me the world of D&D and making it a PAX ritual for us.
+1.
Mm-hmm. +1. I think for me, the very first sponsored party we did with Life is Strange was so freaking cool. I had never done anything like that before, and I was really nervous because we had just launched What's Good like 3 months before that.
Mm-hmm.
And so to get that kind of opportunity, was that, yeah, that's right, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was for
Yeah.
was for Life is Strange Before the Storm.
Yeah, 2017. So, geez Louise, that feels like forever ago. Anyway, I didn't know who was going to show up, if anyone was going to show up. And, probably not all for us, of course, but for the IP. And there was a line out the door, and it felt really great to, I don't know, it was just a really good vibe that night, and got to meet some really cool new people. I think, Ree, maybe that was the first time you and I met. I think you were there.
So. Yeah.
Yeah, it was such a special memory. And you never forget your first party, your first sponsored party.
Yeah, and thank you to our partners at Square Enix for being such a wonderful PAX partner for us and really supporting us as a brand and saying, that the message that What's Good spreads about inclusivity really echoes what Life is Strange as a brand also echoes, and being able to work with them year after year with Before the Storm and then Life is Strange 2 was really phenomenal. So it was great. Yeah, that party was awesome. The only sad part was we didn't have a big enough budget our first year to get both the upstairs and the downstairs, and so we had to cap how many people could come, and so many people couldn't get in, and that was a bummer.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Did y'all survive the swine flu of 2009?
Yeah,
Yes.
we did. We know you didn't.
H1N1, man. That was gnarly.
Joey, what about you?
No.
Favorite PAX memories. So I've only done the PAX circuit 1 year, and I think it was only East and South. So I have yet to make
You've
it.
been to the
Seattle.
elusive PAX South?
I know.
I did PAX South twice, but you've never gone to PAX Prime or PAX West?
No, I've never done PAX West. And I don't know how I managed to always skip it. I don't know. at least when I was still working in my old job, I was working at like a university, so the beginning of the year was always really like packed and stressful. So I think it was just always hard to like get time off of work. But PAX East, the time I went, was so fun. I think that was the first time in a while I'd seen most of you guys. And like, I think that was the first event I had been to with Kind of Funny, where I'd gotten to meet like a lot of like our community, because based in California, obviously it's harder to get like a lot of our East Coast community out there for the events that we throw in San Francisco. So it was just fun to be able to walk around and be like, oh my gosh, I know you, I know your face, I recognize your Twitter avatar, like that's you. And just getting to like meet and hang out with people, and like just convention life of like everybody being in hotels and running around and hopping around to different bars and restaurants and just hanging out is just always my favorite. Like there's never a lack of things to do or people to talk to. And I miss it. I could use that right about now. So this is feeling like a nice little small part of the gap in my heart.
Yeah. Oh, IRL meetups. I mean, there are so many. I mean, we would probably fill the whole panel just talking about PAX memories. I've been to so many PAXs, but I mean, I really am just looking forward to the evolution of PAX and, you know, how they're going to adapt in a post-COVID, post-pandemic world next year in 2021. And I think it's smart of them to not try to commit to like, oh, PAX South, we're back, or PAX East, we're back. But I really do hope that we can get a handle of things by PAX East so we can go back. If nothing else, just so I can get oysters at my favorite bar in Boston.
Priorities.
And of course, to see everybody on the East Coast, because PAX East is like the one time we get to see our East Coast community, because so much of what happens in video games is West Coast based. But without further ado, we want to get on to your questions. We had so many wonderful submissions, so let's go ahead and jump into some Q&A. We made a call for submissions for you guys to send in videos, and thank you to Brittney for spearheading that. Britt, you're the best. Yeah.
Takes the best to know the best.
But we got some really great submissions, so we're going to go ahead and take your questions now. The first question is from Michael Fitzgerald.
Hi, ladies. This is Mike from Massachusetts. That's my boy Roxas. My question is, do you think we'll ever go back to the way PAX used to be? Or as E3, as well as E3? Or do you think this type of virtual convention will always be here in some form? And do you like that? Do you prefer it? I know you last came out to PAX East, which was a lifetime ago, it feels like. Hopefully we get back to that at some time.
Well,
I
ladies,
hope we go back to the way it used to be. I miss the hype, the flashing lights, the loud audio, the sounds, the booms, the meetups, seeing people, touching people consensually. I hope it goes back. What I do hope remains, though, is some of the sanitary precautions we saw taking place right toward the end. Well, I guess it was PAX East, right? When you saw people cleansing the escalator rails and wiping demos down after every demo, like every station was being cleansed. I hope that remains, because I don't think it was that strict beforehand.
No, it wasn't. Like I remember a lot of booths at PAX had sanitizer stations, but it was kind of like a you sanitize if you want to. But at PAX East earlier this year, like you said, like they were really diligent about wiping everything down between every play turn. And I really agree. I hope that stays for sure. But I definitely want them to come back. But I think like the benefit of doing online PAX is that more people get access to the panels, more people get access to any virtual demos, things like that. Whereas before it was like you had to be there. But
yeah, I totally agree. I love the fact that with virtual and online events, like there is less gating according to your travel capabilities, your budget, and where you live and your regional capabilities. Like if somebody is on the other side of the world and they have a 9 to 5, they don't have time off, they can't afford to fly across the globe, they can still be involved and see panels and play demos and get access to a lot of really great games and great information with these virtual and online panels and events. And I hope that continues, at least in some form, but I really do think that there is something to be said for the in-person element, especially for people who are networking and having those hallway conversations and making those connections that are a little bit less formalized, and really like creating new business relationships and coming up with new ideas that happen on the fly, like in an elevator. A new game could come from that, like just a conversation in passing. And that part is really hard to recreate virtually because everything is very specific and you're all sitting there listening to a presentation, and it's really difficult to make that happen virtually. So there are parts of it that I really love and hope stick around, and there are parts of it that really do need to happen in person, in my opinion.
Agreed.
I hope we get like some sort of hybrid where maybe we get more panels that are streamed, or we do get like an online element to some of these events where you can buy like a virtual ticket to like see all these panels or something like that, or they open up the availability of what they record, because I know between like PAX and RTX they usually have like a small amount of them, so it would be cool if we were able to see all of the panels. But I do miss the magic, especially during E3 when it's like, oh, it's just spread over months. Can you hear the dog barking in the background?
Oh yeah, we can definitely hear the dog barking
Yes, we
for
can.
sure.
Moose is making his debut.
Moose wants to be a part of this panel really
Moose
badly.
has things to say. Moose has
Very
opinions.
unhappy.
and
You gotta
thoughts.
text him and be like, "Take care of your dog,"
Yeah, I might just go close my eyes.
but not in the ominous sense.
No.
Take care of your
I do
dog.
Take care of your dog.
I feel like you lose some of the E3 magic when all of these announcements are spread over like months and months and months. It's really fun to have that week of just like thing after thing after thing. So I hope we go back to that at least.
I 100% agree. I think that some of the challenges of having this like summer of gaming that we've been doing this year is that because there's just the rolling announcements, it's hard to know which announcements are going to be super impactful and which ones are just going to be an update. And it's also really tough for creators like us here at What's Good Games to manage our coverage schedule, because it seems like every week there's something happening. Like we haven't had so many late nights editing the show on a Thursday ever, where we just cannot keep up because there's just so many announcements. So hopefully, things do kind of normalize a little bit, but I agree that, it can't go back purely to the way it was. But thank you for your question. All right. Our next question is from
Moose. He says, "Bork, bork, bork, bork,
I'm
bork,
hungry.
bork, 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 bork,
I'm gonna go close my door.
bork, bork."
Listen, I'm very hungry and I would like some treats, please. I am neglected. They don't give
He
me
literally
diapers.
sounds like a toy. He sounds like one of those little dogs that barks and then does a backflip.
Yeah,
Yes.
Steimer, exactly.
Oh, yep. I know exactly which toy you're talking about.
Sorry,
It's just a cute little bark. It's a little yip, yip, yip.
It's very cute.
It is a cute bark.
Don't worry, guys. I'm fine. I just almost tripped over her shoes underneath my thing.
We're going to go to Ashley's question next.
Okay.
You can still hear that dog, by the way.
It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yep.
Okay. Our next question is from Ashley Gambino.
Hi ladies, my name is Ashley. This is Io. He doesn't want to leave me alone for this. I am a gamer who lives in Grapevine, Texas. I am a longtime listener, first-time caller. And my question is, if you have faced any, and I'm sure you have, if you've faced any roadblocks in forming or growing your community and how you overcame them. Thanks.
So this is a great question. Thank you so much, Ashley, for sending it in. We've definitely faced some challenges. I don't know if I would use the word roadblock specifically, because I think that indicates that it was something that we had to problem solve to get around because it prevented us from growing. And we thankfully at What's Good Games have had a really great community. Now, I think because we focus on inclusivity and hearing all kinds of voices and honestly talking about positive things, it sadly has kept us from getting gigantic, because for some reason the internet loves to be mad about stuff, and that's just kind of not our general vibe. And because of that, there are people that don't like coming to our content because they want to be mad and they want to be in communities where they can be mad, and that kind of bums me out.
Yeah. No, we have the stance of, if you're going to come into our community and be a dick, we'll just ban you. There is that moment, though, where it's like, okay, can we educate you? Are you just a little confused about what we stand for and how you can support inclusivity in games? And if that's the case, like, we will take the time and chat with people, but there are just some people that can't be helped. And when it can't be helped, that band hammer is your best friend. And thankfully, as someone who manages the majority of our community, Steimer and Andrea and Rene have been really supportive of the fact when I'm like, okay, I'm just going to ban people on my free will. They trust me. They trust me with the ban hammer. I'm not just going to like whack bitches for the sake of it. It's going to be like, okay, can I help you? No, bye.
Yes.
Goodbye.
It's always a purposeful whacking.
Yes. Ooh. I'm going to make that like my new LinkedIn title, purposeful whacking.
That's what she said.
I love it. Joey, you've done a lot of work with the Kind of Funny community, obviously, as the wrangler of all things kind of funny. I mean, have you run into any roadblocks, challenges, or hurdles? I mean, obviously.
Yeah. There's always, whenever you're doing anything involving communities people, there's always going to be those. I think we've faced similar things of if a lot of explosive growth results in a lot of like, you don't have a lot of control over who's around. So I think when you want to cultivate a community that's hopefully not a dick to everybody on the internet, like you said, it's so much more effort to be kind and thoughtful, and it's so much easier to just be like snarky and about things. So especially in like hot take culture, which I feel like is kind of what the internet is right now. So it does require like a lot more work, and people exist really well within a set of rules, but that does cull the group of people that you're working with a little bit. But if you're going to be a jerk, then we don't want to hang out with you.
Yeah.
You can't sit with us.
Yeah.
You can't sit with us.
But everybody else that's not a jerk totally can sit with us.
Yeah.
Table.
Because I feel like those are the people that usually get pushed out because they get the barrage of like snarky comments and stuff like that. And it's like, well, that's not the kind of environment we want.
Exactly. And we actually met when you were working with the community at Kind of Funny before What's Good Games even existed. And then, once What's Good became a thing, I was like, come to the What's Good side.
We have cookies.
Yeah, I mean, we do. It's true.
And whiskey.
You guys have
drinks.
cookies?
Joey,
Whiskey,
Joey, do you want to come to the dark side? I mean, the light side, the best side?
Joey.
Oh, see, Britt's really winning
The
me
drunk
over.
side.
Exactly, Steimer, the drunk side.
But what were some of the things that you noticed, both in your work with Kind of Funny and, of course, in your work with What's Good?
Yeah, I've noticed that, quite honestly, women are really great at moderating communities. And Joey and Britt and Andy and Steimer, all of you have been really, really inspirational and great role models for me as a mod. And shout out to the rest of the mod team at Kind of Funny and also at What's Good Games, because voices should be consulted and trusted from lots of different backgrounds and experiences. And I think the best tool that any community moderation panel could have is diversity. Like having people who understand what it's like to live abroad, what it's like to be a woman, what it's like to be LGBTQIA, and have different identities and different lived experiences. Like, if it's impossible to moderate a community of everyone if you don't know what it's like to be around everyone. And I think that's something that has made these two communities in particular very, very strong and very welcoming and inclusive. And I would encourage any moderation team to consult voices that are other than your own.
Yes.
It makes
Amen.
a difference.
100% agree. Well, thank you for your question, Ashley. Our next question is a little off the beaten path, but I think it's kind of fun. This one is from, you know what? I'm going to do the one from Curtis.
Hey everyone, what's good? Thank you so much for taking my question. Okay, everybody think back to elementary school and all of those educational games that you would play in computer class. Now flash forward to today and you're the head of a major development studio and you have no restrictions on budget, on talent, on genre, lack of educational content, or even ESRB rating. So here's my question. Can you give us your best pitch for a modern reboot of a classic piece of edutainment? Thanks.
OMG, what a question, Curtis.
I saw Ree and Joey both like light up when this question was being read. The only game I remember playing in elementary school was Math Blasters.
Yes.
Ree,
Oh,
you
damn.
Blasters.
Math
Absolutely.
Blasters.
Yeah,
I went
Yeah.
straight to
the
Oregon
alien.
Trail.
Oregon Trail. For me, Mavis
good one.
Beacon teaches typing was one of my
Oh,
faves.
another good one.
Ooh, pause for typing. Anyone else? Just me. Pause.
No.
You had to just like keep
Rabbit.
cat.
We did Read a Rabbit.
Mm.
That
I
was a
think
good one.
what I would want to reboot is one of my favorite games growing up, which is Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego.
Yes, Joey.
Running around.
Yes.
And she was like stealing all these artifacts, and then you had to like find them and like reset them to make history right. I don't really remember what the story was. But doing some like a rebooted version of that and making it maybe not point and click, but like an actual adventure game, and I don't know, something maybe like Assassin's Creedy. But I like the idea of time hopping, so you're like you have all these different like mini hubs of worlds and stuff like that. And if it's historical, maybe share some stories that aren't always in like textbooks and stuff like that, because we can broaden our horizons, you know? So I think that would be really fun, and I would be stoked to play that as an adult.
I think oh, sorry, go ahead. Go ahead, Ree.
No, you go ahead.
I was just gonna go like the fairly simple, easy answer, which is like a Red Dead Redemption but Oregon Trail. So just like open world, like full on RPG. You have to go hunting to get your meat for your crew, but you'll have like fun conversations with them along the way and along the journey, and you can basically kind of build your own path to get to where you want to go. Or you could totally fail. It'd be great if there was just like you screwed up and you're in the complete wrong part of the country.
So that's an interesting idea that like it's like Oregon Trail like world or
Open
whatever.
world, yeah.
Like real life.
Yeah, like real, just
Yeah.
like you got to figure out how to get there. You got to go west. And if you don't go west, game over. Like it could have like a count, like an ominous countdown. So
Like permadeath mode.
Yeah, just like you have 15 days, whatever. I don't remember how. It's obviously more than 15 days. You have X amount of time to get there. Go forth, enjoy.
I
Figure
mean,
it out.
current gen graphics for Dysentery could be very graphic.
Oh, no!
God,
Yeah,
please,
I do wonder
please.
how many people would die. You have to like dig your own hole for that sort
No!
of situation.
Oh, so sad.
Disgusting. I kind of like it though. I would love to see. So I'm a big fan of typing games. Mavis Beacon, shout out to her. Read a Rabbit, awesome. But there was a game that we played in grade school where we would learn how to type, and it was a haunting situation. So there was like a baby that was like being possessed and like doing spins above the
Sorry,
kitchen
grade
table, and
What?
yeah,
At the school?
You had like poltergeists in your
Yes.
grade
Sounds
school
like my
typing.
favorite scary movie ever, but keep going.
right. And so it was a little bit scary, as you all know. I don't fuck with the scary shit. However, what if that was a coding game, and instead of learning how to type, you're learning how to code? And if you made like a critical error, like shit would like come out of the computer and like fuck with you. Like imagine how cool
baby
and
gets
scary
closer.
and how much additional trauma we could give to people learning code. At a young,
Do we
impressionable
want
age.
additional trauma to people right now?
Like, don't ever fuck up your clauses. Like that's what it will teach you.
Wow.
Amazing
Wow.
programs, right?
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my god, man, it's so great.
That's-
I think that's actually coding, though. I think coding is something that'd be great to teach kids. I think back in our day, it was teaching us how to type, how to use a keyboard, but now teach those little bastards how to code.
I'm sure they actually probably have something like
We
that.
had
now.
a coding program when I was in elementary school. I mean, it was very late, I think 6th grade. Because that's when I played Oregon Trail, because that's when computer stuff was just being introduced. Because I
Yeah.
learned how to type on an actual typewriter, because I'm that old.
Ooh, I bet that was fun though.
It was fun until you had to use whiteout.
Oh yeah,
That's
for sure.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they had that. It was very pared down. Obviously, it was DOS. It was old school. But
Oh,
I think that's a really cool idea as well.
I
Well,
like your idea of the horror, though. Reed, that's really good. I'm into that.
I'll pass.
It would work.
I'll pass
It'd be
on that.
effective.
Well, thank you for your question, Curtis. Next question is from Luke.
Hello, ladies of What's Good Games. Thank you so much for your consistent, amazing coverage each and every week. It is a highlight and something I look forward to. For your PAX panel, I would love to know what it is you guys think you've done well as an organization since the inception, and what you think you would like to improve upon going forward. Thank you so much for all you do, guys. Take care.
Well, this is
Hi.
a very good question, Luke. Thank you. Brittney, do you have something?
Yeah, I'm really proud of the way we branded ourselves as being a podcast with all women. We're all inclusive, and I think we're a positive, upbeat beacon of light And I say that because we get those comments every week and it makes me really happy. I'm starting to believe it. But seriously, I'm really proud of what we've built and how we've built it. And I think when people hear about What's Good Games, they think of like, that's a safe space. That's a happy place. I mean, sure, we go off from time to time, but it's never to be nasty. It's to be critical. And I think there's a huge difference there. So I'm really proud of that reputation we've built for ourselves.
Yeah, that's a really great point. I think branding was something that we spent a lot of time on in the early years. We've only been around for 3 years.
Earlier part of the organization's inception.
Yes, it's true. Anywho, I think it's a good call out that, you know, branding is good and branding's important, and not only just the community aspect of branding, but the idea that I think people, when they hear What's Good Games, there is no question about what we are and who we are and what we stand for, if they know who we are, what I mean, right? Like, there's no wishy-washy, like, oh, well, they do this and this and this and this. It's like, What's Good Games is this thing. And I think that we really did that well. And I'm really happy that we've been able to stay committed and true to that vision. And a lot of that is due to our Patreon support and the fact that we have been crowdfunded since the very beginning, and that What's Good Games exists because of people supporting us and wanting our voices to be part of this community. So thank you to everybody who does support What's Good Games. Now, what would you like to improve upon going forward? I mean, I think for us, it's the constant struggle has always been just not having enough bodies to do the work, because I don't want people to come work for us and not get compensated for that. And we just don't have it in our bandwidth to hire on like 3 or 4 more people to do work. And I wish we could, right? Like I went back when I was seeing Joey all the time at the Kind of Funny offices. I talked to Greg and Tim about it all the time, how I really love the amount of content that they're putting out. Now Joey probably is like, it's a lot of content. It's too much content, maybe.
It's a lot of content and it gets a little crowded, but it's fun.
But like the work that you guys put in, I was always so, you know, in admiration of, because I see how many man hours go into all of that work and woman hours go into all of that work. And it was that's like the one thing that we just can't do at What's Good, is our fans want more content and we just don't have the bandwidth to give more. So maybe someday.
Maybe someday.
Yeah. What about you, Joey, with Kind of Funny? Do you have something that you guys have looked at as like, hey, I'm really proud of this, and something that you want to improve on?
The thing that I'm proud of is also the thing that I want to improve on, which is I like that we've been able to use our platform to elevate new voices and different diverse voices. Doing a daily news show gives us a lot of, I know, I was like, which order do these words go in? Gives us a lot of opportunities to be able to spotlight some voices that people might not have heard about yet. So I hope we're able to continue to do that more in the future and kind of diversify who we have on shows. I think at the beginning, towards of when I joined, it was very like a little bit more rigid and like, hey, these are all of our people and we're going to put everybody on shows. And I feel like recently, and especially with the pandemic and being able to do, bring in guests virtually and stuff like that, it's opened up a lot more opportunities for that too. So I'm excited to see how that kind of changes, because yeah, we've been able to like bring in Alana for XCast, and Belinda has been doing a lot of our in reviews and stuff lately. So we've been able to get some cool new people. Ray was just on Kind of Funny Games Daily last week.
Yeah,
you killed it.
Killed it. Everybody loved her because, of course, why would you not?
Yeah.
So good.
She's ours, Kind of Funny, Joey. You stay far, far, far away.
We'll just swap every once in a while.
Okay.
I'll do a PAX panel with you guys. Real come on Games Daily. We'll just switch her up.
Yeah,
We'll call it even.
it'll be great. Now, I'm more worried about Inside Gaming stealing her.
Oh,
My eyes are out for you, Alana. I see what you're doing. Okay. Okay. Don't take her, all right? We like her a lot. Thank you for your question. Our next question is from Marcus Brown.
Hey ladies, how's it going? Marcus here, wishing you all the best during the year of our COVID 2020. My question has to do with the future of gaming and what you'd like to see in it. So we are on the eve of a console launch. We more or less know some of the basic features and functions that are coming with these boxes, as well as some of the leaps that they're taking both graphically and feature-wise. But my question to you all is, if you had a blank check to create anything within the next 5 to 10 years, what is it that you would like to see as far as an innovation when it comes to console gaming? whether it's a new type of accessibility or if it's a new feature or graphical leap or just something even outside of those realms of possibility. So that's my question to you. Hope you're all doing well. Have a good one. Bye.
A blank check, you say?
A blank
The dream of a blank check.
I'm like, I don't know what that blank check's gonna get me, but could be
I have an idea that's probably, I mean, it's ridiculous, but I have a blank check.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So I'll go for it.
Yeah.
I wish there was not VR, an AR hub that worked with every console. So I could go into my AR hub and I could be like, hey, who's online? I don't care what console you're on, and I just want to see what all my friends are doing. And I could just browse and see, like, Andrea's playing Destiny on PlayStation, and Brittney's playing Yakuza on Xbox, obviously. And just, like, see what everyone's doing, and then just, like, ping them and see, like, hey, can I join you? Can I hang out?
Ooh, that's
an
exciting.
agnostic hub.
So it's like
Yeah.
an evolution of crossplay.
Yes. Like, a next step up from crossplay, where I can, like, get a lay of the land and see where I want to engage.
I'm not gonna lie, I
Interesting.
really just want the thing to be quiet. That's like, I want it to be quiet and I want it to not overheat. Like, that's all I fucking want in the world.
Much more
Fair.
practical.
We're putting
goal.
$20 million into fan technology.
I really will. I'd be like, cooling. How much cooling can we put into this unit?
Can it not sound like a superpowered jet engine?
Sometimes you have to turn the TV volume up so loud just so you can overpower the fan.
That's true. That's true.
It's ridiculous.
Man, a blank check, which feature would I want? I think I would want more seamless chat options. And it's tough because getting those technologies to work together is obviously very hard. And that's why I love services like Discord, because it does allow you to chat across multiple platforms with people. It's how we chatted back in my Paragon days when I was playing with people who were on PS4 and PC. And that's a great way. But it would be nice, like Ree was saying, if there was a more like integrated feature. But
Yeah,
as far as
I'm
like blank check, I don't know.
I'm a simple woman. As long as my game sounds good, and like Steimer says, sounds quiet, this console itself, like, I'm pretty content. I guess what would be really nice if accessibility options were more just like spread across the board. And even you look at Xbox's adaptive controller, which is fucking phenomenal, but there are people who can't even use that, right? So maybe if there was an easy way across console gaming where you could just send in whatever it is you need to send in and be like, hey, this is my disability. This is what I need to play this game appropriately. It would just be something that was sent your way. Blank check, I think you can make it happen.
Yeah.
But that's a pipe dream. And I think that would be incredible because, like, I really have no complaints, but I know I'm very fortunate in the sense that I'm able to just pick up a controller and play whatever I want, whenever I want. And I know not everyone has the ability to do that. Something more streamlined along that line would be really great.
Yeah.
That's a
great.
good one. Yeah.
Mine's way more surface level. I just want a Xbox design lab on PlayStation so I can make cute controllers.
Dude,
Yes.
That would be
Yes.
nice.
Or even just the ability to be able to use my like Xbox Elite controller on my PlayStation would be dope. If they could figure that
Ooh.
out.
Controllers on
PlayStation-
everything.
Yeah, PlayStation doesn't have an official Pro controller. There's the Astro one, which is third party,
Yeah.
of course, that you can get for PlayStation. But yeah, I'm with you. PlayStation Design Labs. Done.
Yes.
You can't
That'd be
totally
cool.
just steal that name. So they'd have to get a
What
little
about-
Yeah, that's probably trademarked. You're right.
It'd be
Good
like
point.
custom laboratories.
Yeah.
So this has the potential to be really fucking awkward. But what if the facial scanning technology was so good when you go into games like Kingdoms of Amalur, where you can create Dragon Age, Mass Effect, you create your face, but it actually looks like your face and not some abomination of your face. And they slap that. I know the NBA games do that, don't they? I think I've seen like Cobb post his photos.
Yes.
in their-
Yes.
Sometimes it
That's the
works.
thing that's happened.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't remember which version of NBA. Is it 2K?
Yeah. But would that be
2K
weird,
X
seeing your
date
own
would insert.
character in like romance scenes? Or would that be
I
great?
never make a character that looks like me though. Like I always go red hair, green eyes.
Like
Oh.
me. You
Oh,
make
like
me.
I make you in all of my things. I don't make myself.
That's
Oh,
so.
see, I always
Usually
make
that's
myself.
nice.
Fuckboy version of myself. Like
The
I try to
fuckboy
go
version?
with like shaved sides and like a tall hair, usually like maybe a little dangly in the face, and like something about him that's like very cute. And then like I role play as a fuckboy.
That's fucking awesome.
That's amazing.
I love
Ooh,
it.
let's invest in hair technology because I really want more
Oh.
like long braids and long ponytail things in custom games like that. Like because a lot of them, the haircut options are atrocious.
Yeah.
That's true.
Better
Yeah,
hair.
blank check, better hair. Better hair.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, thank you for your question. Our next question is from Amy.
Ahoy and what's good? I just wanted to know who your favourite video game villain is and why.
Egg.
Oh yeah, Solus.
Oh, like, is he a true villain though?
Yes. Yes, he wants to destroy the world.
But for people who don't know who Egg is,
Egg is Solus in Dragon Age. So I guess spoilers. But why is
that spoilers?
Because if you play the camp, because what I think is so brilliant about how they set him up as this villain is you start out Dragon Age Inquisition and he's a little off, but like you don't think of him as
shy or something.
You think, you just think he's like a very intellectual, like into himself sort of a person. And at the very end, the game's just like, nerp, by the way, he's the big bad you were not expecting. You thought it was this other thing. Solus has been behind a lot of this the whole time. Yeah. And I was just like, oh my God, you made me actually be friends with this person, like get to know them, have a lot of conversations. You could potentially romance them depending on which type of hero you choose. And that has like got to screw with you even more. To be like, I romanced the big bad. How did I do that?
That's a good one, Steimer. I think that's really good. I think of Sephiroth, and maybe that's because Final Fantasy VII is right on the in my mind. But if you haven't finished all of Final Fantasy VII, I'm not going to obviously go into why I think he's a fantastic villain. But I think what makes a great villain in video games, and I guess in just media in general, is when you get to know them, like Steimer says, and you understand their motivations. And then it is that struggle where it's not just black and white. It's like, well, I see why you're doing that, but is there like a middle ground maybe where we can come to terms? So I think it's Sephiroth. And then another one I love is just the Umbrella Corporation from Resident Evil. No surprise there. They're a terrible, evil, evil company. But I just find what they do so fascinating. And it's been fun to watch them evolve throughout the Resident Evil franchise. And I'm hoping we get some more info on them. I mean, we will. We saw their logo in the RE8 Village trailer. So I'll say Umbrella and Sephiroth. And Solus is a really good one too, Steimer. I'm going to second that one.
Yeah. I would say quick shout out to Handsome Jack from Borderlands. Just because he's fucking funny. Like Butt Stallion is a great moment. Like he's just very quotable. He's very charming, and he's just a straight up joy to listen to over your little headset while you're running around. And he's not a good guy, but he's entertaining, and I'm super here for that.
That's such a great pick. Yeah, Handsome Jack. Joey, do you have a favorite?
I'm realizing as you guys are talking that I feel like most of the games I play don't have villains. Like I'm just thinking through things that I played for this
year.
There's
no Stardew Valley villain, right?
Unless it's JoJamart, which it is. Yeah. But that seems kind of weird. But yeah, like nothing I've played through this year, like Minecraft Dungeons, there isn't really like a villain that's like particularly exciting. I don't know. This is just in a personal realization of like, oh, I don't play that many games with villains.
I think that I'm with you. I don't think I have like a favorite villain. I think the villain that I've had the most experience with over my lifetime has been Bowser, but he doesn't feel like he has like a particular personality. Sorry, Bowser, you're kind of bland as a villain. Your motivations
very one-dimensional.
Yeah, your motivations aren't exactly deep. But I think that he's kind of a fun villain in the sense that they've painted him in both lights in different games across the Super Mario Brothers franchise over a couple of decades, right? You know, you think about a game like Smash or like even like a Mario Tennis, you know, something like that, where Mario Kart, where it's like, oh, it's fun to play as Bowser even though he's supposed to be like the big bad.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Anywho, I don't have a good one either, Joey. Don't worry. But thank you for your question, Amy. Our next question is from Ignacio. Oh, Ignacio. Thanks for sending in a question, even though I like to rib you on social media.
Hey, what's good? What's good, games? Ignacio Rojas here. How's it going? So how long do you see Microsoft and Sony keeping up this game of chicken for? We're presumably 3 months away from the launches of the PS5 and the Series X, and yet we still don't know how much either console will cost. At what point are we too close to launch? Who do you see blinking first? And how much do you see either console costing? Anyways, as always, keep being awesome.
So they're not playing chicken really. I think they have it planned when they're going to reveal the price. At least one of them has it planned. I bet you Sony has it planned. I don't think Sony really cares what Microsoft is doing. But Microsoft doesn't care what Sony is doing either, at least not anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with you. I think that's what's so fascinating about this console generation. Like, everyone's in their own lane now. Nintendo's doing cartwheels in their own universe. Microsoft is like, yo, just sign up for Game Pass, we're good. And Sony's like, buy all of our exclusives. So yeah, I think obviously it's still competition with the price point, but it's not like it used to be.
When do you guys think you're going to get a price?
I would say if we're not going to get a price, well, it's crazy because we're taping this panel ahead of Gamescom, and I think we might get one of the prices either from, I think Microsoft will probably reveal during Gamescom, but I would imagine by the time this panel airs, we'll know the price of one of the consoles, but otherwise sometime in September.
I was going to say September.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like we're just running out of months too.
Yeah, because like, I mean, eventually they're going to have to, because it will be, if either they're going to announce it or a retailer is going to leak it. That's what's going to happen. So it's your choice, companies.
Yep, it's true. Thank you for your question. Next, Bernie Monsanto.
So I don't really have a question per se, but it's more of a challenge, I guess you could say. I was thinking, how fast could you say the word Tsushima, like 3 or... No, you know what? Let's do 5 times. I think it'll be fun to say sushi. I can't even say it once. Tsushima 5 times as fast as you can possibly do it.
Tsushima.
Tongue twister?
I feel like it's not that hard.
Tsushima.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I mean, I can do it, but I'm just like, is it supposed to like make you say a word that's bad? Like,
I don't know.
All right, here you go.
You're doing mouth exercises.
Here you go. Tsushima.
See, Ree did it like properly. Ree was like going rabbit lightning speed.
That's fair. Joey?
This is a lot of pressure. Tsushima.
Ah, you did good.
Yeah, you did good. All right. Tsushima. Close.
It's like the third one.
Yeah, it is the third one. It kind of like messes you up.
Okay, in fairness, I wasn't trying to say it as fast as possible. Tsushima.
Yeah, see, yeah, then it kind of like blends in together.
Okay, you're right.
It's the to be digs, and it's not happening for me.
Yeah, it's the third one. Okay. Thanks, Bernie, for the laughs. Okay, next up, Michael.
All right, so this question's for Steimer specifically, actually. When you were playing The Last of Us 2, at any point in time in your notebook, because I know you were taking notes, did you write down that Dina must have a fantastic skin routine? All right, thanks, guys. Love you. Bye.
Obviously, this is for Steimer.
I mean, it's for all of us, but I think, like, well, all of us that have played, all of them have almost perfect skin. Like, no one's got, like, oh my god, this zit's coming in today. This really hurts on my face. And now I've got to go, through the woods and do the thing. I'm not going to talk about the plot of this game, obviously, because it just came out. But, like, yeah, all of them have incredible genetics in order to not have one pimple this entire time.
Who doesn't have zits in the apocalypse? Come on, you're under stress constantly.
Not only that, like, there's so many environmental hazards, like dirt, all sorts of stuff's clogging your pores. You got to wash that out. They don't have face wash.
It's not like you have a stringent at the ready.
Yeah.
No
like,
way.
they barely ever shower. Like, I don't think I can remember any time when anybody in that game bathes.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
So either we're all doing it wrong and none of us need to do anything to our skin. And in fact, we just need to go roll in the dirt for a little bit. Or
noted.
The game is all lies.
Roll in the dirt.
Very good for your skin, apparently.
Yeah, that's the only hormone you need is adrenaline.
Perfect. Thank you for your question. Our final question is from Andrew Cotton.
What's good, ladies? It's Andrew Cotton from Toronto. If you could have any one person as a guest, sky's the limit for your podcast, who would it be and why? Thanks, and keep up with all the great content.
Ooh, the sky is the limit, huh?
Well, it's tough.
So are we
like,
going
I
with
could
somebody
immediately
real?
Tell on myself with all my crushes, but
I know.
Real.
Ree's like, which hottie do I want to invite?
Henry Cavill, obviously, because
he would be great.
It would be great to talk to him about all the games he really likes, about playing Geralt. Like, I would just like nerd out about Witcher. I think that'd be great.
Oh, yeah, he'd be a great.
I think I would like to have Shigeru Miyamoto on. I think obviously Yeah, not only does he seem like a very pleasant man, he created
seems
Mario,
so
Donkey
nice.
Kong, Zelda. I feel like also a very private man, and it would be fascinating to just kind of talk with him and just kind of get a feel of what kind of person he is. I mean, I think we all kind of know, but like actually get to know him. There, besides just the super happy, smiley, handsome face we see on stage from time to time, that would be fascinating.
That's a great pick. Rhea, you obviously you thought of somebody.
I had several people I thought of, but the one that I'm gonna go with is Megan Thee Stallion, because we know she's a nerd, and she is incredible, and I just want to talk to her. I just want to be friends with her.
I didn't know she was a nerd. That's awesome.
I didn't know she was a nerd either.
Yeah, she has the line in her song, something like a wild fox looking for a Sasuke. She watches anime.
Yeah,
she has a line coming out with
Crunchyroll.
Crunchyroll.
Well, today I learned.
Miyamoto-san, I love and appreciate you, but I think we have a new contender.
Megan, if you're listening, I love you, and please come on the show.
Gosh, you guys all have good picks.
Immediately goes to two people. One being the elusive Nintendo fan of Chrissy Teigen.
I was going to say Chrissy. Yes.
Talks about almost losing all of her moons when she lost her Switch. And she's no outlet, as far as I know, has been able to get her to talk about games yet. So I feel like that's up there on the list.
She's our white whale.
Also secondary, Jordan Fisher, because I want to talk to him about, he's like playing Fortnite all the time. He was in Until Dawn. He's in To All the Boys. He was in a DCOM, Disney Channel original movie. I feel like,
oh my God, I didn't realize he was in Until Dawn.
What?
I didn't realize he was in Until Dawn.
Yeah, he was Matt.
He's Matt, the job.
I did not make that connection until you said that.
Emily. Yeah.
That's crazy.
She's the worst.
She's the worst.
So yeah, those are one. Sorry, Jordan Fisher, if you're listening to this, but Chrissy Teigen has to take my vote.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna plus one Chrissy Teigen for sure. I've been checking out her cookbook, and I just feel like she's such a fun, like, down to earth person that I want to be friends with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, Chrissy. Also, congrats on your third baby announcement. I don't know if anybody else saw that, but they're having a third baby. In case
Name
you
it
care about
Mario.
Chrissy Teigen's life. Well, thank you so much to everybody for sending in your questions. That is going to do it for our PAX Online panel. This has been such a fun time. And thank you, Joey Noelle, for joining us. Joey, where can people find and follow you?
I'm at Joey Noelle on pretty much everything. And then I'm on Kind of Funny Screencast on youtube.com/kindoffunny every week. If you want to hear me talk about movies and TV shows and all that fun stuff.
Yay! And Ree, good to see you as always. But of course, people know where they can find you on What's Good content. Where can they find you on everything else you're doing, since you're making so many guest appearances these days?
I usually post links to my guest stuff on Twitter. That's at Riana Tweets Now. That's RIANA Tweets Now. And usually I have stuff on my Instagram, Riana Grams Now. But you can definitely catch me on Twitter.
Excellent. Well, we love you guys. Thank you again for participating. Thank you, PAX, for having us. And we hope you have a happy PAX. Bye, everybody.